Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I will be discussing the 48-volt mild hybrid system installed with some of our B58 engines. This is a video I have wanted to make for some time, and need to make actually before part 2 of the B58TU1 video. The system that I will be describing in this video does not apply to the first generation B58 engines, as they have no mild hybrid system, and also does not apply to the third generation B58 engines, as they have a different mild hybrid system which I'll cover in a future video. This video covers only the B58TU1 mild hybrid system, which features in some cars fitted with the B58B30O1 or B58B30M1 engines manufactured from 2020 onwards. So how do you know if your B58 has a 48-volt mild hybrid system? Well, this is easy. Have a look at the engine bay and see if you have a thick purple wiring harness. These purple harnesses are dedicated to the 48-volt electrical system and cannot be confused with anything else. The year of manufacture of your vehicle does not automatically mean you will have the system. For example, the current G42 M240i does not have the 48-volt mild hybrid system, even though it is fitted with essentially the same B58B30O1 engine as the M340i, which does have the system. This means the engines have some differences, which we'll see in a moment. Before we get started, here's BMW's own description of the system. BMW's mild hybrids are vehicles that have an internal combustion engine, which is then supported by a 48-volt battery. The battery helps improve performance and boost acceleration, offers seamless stop-start functionality, improves fuel efficiency with an increase in MPG, and successfully reduces the CO2 emissions while driving. You've probably already seen this image online, which shows some of the key components of the B58TU1 mild hybrid system. We can see the purple harness, of course, the starter generator, the extra lithium-ion battery, the power control unit, which BMW also calls the DCCDC Converter, and the 48-volt distributor. So the first thing to point out is that while a B58TU1 engine without the mild hybrid system has an alternator on the front, the engines with the mild hybrid system feature a starter generator. The starter generator is larger in size than the alternator and features two tensioners for switching between modes, which we'll cover later in this video. Because of the tensioners, the belt layout at the front of the engine is different between mild hybrid and non-mild hybrid engines. So the engines with mild hybrid system still feature a proper 12-volt starter motor, just like the non-mild hybrid engines, and the 12-volt starter motor starts the engine when it's cold, i.e. the first start of the day, when the engine needs more effort to start. But after the first cold start, the starter generator performs further starting of the engines. Because of its high power output, the starter generator requires a cooling system, and its cooling system consists of both air and water cooling. The electrical machine part of the starter generator is air-cooled, whilst the power electronics are water-cooled. The coolant circuit of the starter generator is integrated into the engine's high-temperature circuit and has a connection to the engine oil coolant heat exchanger. Let's have a bit of a look at the harness itself and note that the 48-volt voltage distributor is part of the harness. The lithium-ion battery is the energy storage device for the starter generator's recuperated energy. In engine mode, it also makes the energy available for the electrical machine. The installation location of the lithium-ion battery is in the engine compartment at the rear right. The power control unit, which is also referred to as the DCCDC Converter, is the interface between the 12-volt electrical system and the 48-volt electrical system and supplies the 12-volt electrical system with energy from the 48-volt electrical system. It is bidirectionally configured and can thus transmit power from the 48-volt electrical system to the 12-volt electrical system, and when it does so, it is then in buck mode. It can also transfer the energy vice versa, which is known as boost mode. A power output of 3 kilowatts can be transmitted permanently, but can also achieve 3.5 kilowatts at peak. In normal functionality, the DC-DC converter communicates with the Flexible Energy and Power Management (FEPM), which is located in the engine's control unit or DME, and therefore the DME of non-mild hybrid and mild hybrid cars is slightly different. Due to the high power output of the DC-DC converter and to improve the efficiency of the lithium-ion battery, both of these components are water-cooled. In some vehicles, the coolant circuit is an extension of the low-temperature coolant circuit which cools the charged air, whereas in other vehicles there may be an independent low-temperature coolant circuit with its own radiator, 20-watt electric coolant pump, and expansion tank. During energy recovery or recuperation, the kinetic energy is converted into electrical energy to supply the electrical system and/or charge the lithium-ion battery. There are two different modes in energy recovery: overrun recuperation, which is controlled via the accelerator pedal, and braking recuperation, controlled via the brake pedal. A special braking system, which is also used with some plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, is required to enable the full recuperation of power of the starter generator to be used. Decoupling from the hydraulic system is required so that the driver always senses the same brake feel. Less hydraulic pressure is built up than in a pure hydraulic braking vehicle. To detect the pedal travel, a pedal angle sensor is installed on the brake pedal linkage. So obviously the changes we have seen have some drawbacks. The vehicle weight is increased due to the number of extra components or larger components, and of course there is increased complexity overall due to extra harnesses, extra tubes, etc. So why does BMW and actually all car manufacturers install such 48-volt mild hybrid systems? Well, let's look at the advantages in more detail. 1. Dynamic advantage thanks to e-boost function. In partial load operation, the starter generator supports the internal combustion engine as an electrical machine. Thanks to its delay-free power output, the electrical machine improves the acceleration build-up and responsiveness of the drive. In response to full load demand, the electrical machine can, in certain operating ranges, briefly increase the engine's overall power by 11 horsepower or 8 kilowatts. The e-boost function generally only lasts a few seconds and is integrated to support the combustion engine in situations in which the exhaust turbocharger cannot yet generate sufficient charging pressure. An e-overboost function is available but is triggered under very rare and specific conditions. During the e-boost function, the starter generator briefly makes available additional mechanical power. Thanks to the additional torque of up to 120 Newton meters, the torque in the combustion engine can also be lowered. In boost mode, energy is transferred from the 12-volt electrical system via the DC-DC converter to the 48-volt electrical system. In buck mode, the 12-volt electrical system is supplied by the DC-DC converter with 3 kilowatts. 2. Improved automatic engine start-stop function. The powerful 48-volt starter generator produces a 20% faster starting time, so leads to improved comfort in terms of acoustics and vibrations during the starting process. The first engine start of the day is still done by the conventional 12-volt starter motor, but if the engine temperature is greater than 60 degrees C, the engine will be started by the 48-volt starter generator. A further new functionality is that the engine can be shut down when stopping from a speed of 15 kilometers per hour, so this results in additional fuel economy. 3. Engine off coasting. In so-called coasting, the combustion engine in normal situation no longer continues to run at idle in mild hybrid vehicles, but is instead switched off completely, and the drivetrain is decoupled in order to utilize the vehicle's kinetic energy for motion. Restarting of the engine is virtually delay-free. The vehicle is only decelerated by the rolling resistance and the drag. To save fuel, the engine is switched off during coasting unless there is a switch-off inhibitor present, such as, for example, the electrical system or climate control. Coasting is available in Comfort and Eco-Pro modes after the accelerator pedal is released, although the two modes work to initiate coasting slightly differently. If the vehicle is to be accelerated again, the internal combustion engine is started via the starter generator when the accelerator pedal is pressed and the clutches in the automatic transmission are closed. An additional electric transmission oil pump ensures that the transmission is lubricated to the required level during the engine off phases. And last but not least, reduced CO2 emissions. This is probably the key reason this system is implemented. Braking energy is not lost but instead electrically recuperated. The combustion engine is supported in driving mode and operated in more efficient operating conditions. This results in combustion reductions in operation of around 0.3 liters per 100 kilometers. As mentioned previously, thanks to the additional torque of up to 120 Newton meters from the electrical machine part of the starter generator, the torque in the combustion engine can be lowered, which in turn results in reduced combustion and emissions. Finally, some additional points. Emergency recharging. When the 12-volt battery drops below a value while the vehicle is in sleep mode, then under certain conditions the vehicle is woken up and recharged from the energy of the 48-volt battery. Recharging is generally conducted until the 48-volt battery reaches a certain threshold value or a timeout has expired, and then the vehicle goes back to sleep. External charging. External charging of the vehicle is still performed via the 12-volt jump start terminal in the engine compartment. Primarily, this is intended to charge the 12-volt battery. When the 12-volt battery is charged to a minimum level, then the 48-volt battery is also charged. External charging only functions if the hood has been detected as being open. External charging is terminated when the charging voltage drops or the 48-volt battery is fully charged. Okay guys, that's it. I needed to cover the key points in this video because there are points here that I don't want to repeat in the next video for the B58TU1. I hope this video was useful. I certainly wanted to know more about the 48-volt mild hybrid system, and I struggled to find a video on YouTube that covered it in sufficient detail. So I hope you enjoyed this video and see you in the next one.